One thing I've always wanted to talk about is being able to cast from the top of a bridge. Now, you got cars rushing past you 2 feet behind your back. You can't do a big old back cast or side cast, especially with these 1 to 2 ounce flare hawks. It gets really dangerous. So there's a specific technique for being able to cast out from a bridge. One of those techniques is being able to flip from underneath the bridge. You know, whether it be you're casting out a rolling tarpon or casting down the line of a fender, this is the way you're going to do it. So you're gonna open your bail, hold your line in your finger. You're gonna point your rod tip straight down at the water. You're gonna get a couple pendulum swings. So swing back and forth on your jig. You feel comfortable. Point your rod tip as far underneath the bridge as possible, and you're gonna flick it up and push your rod tip forward at a 45-degree angle at the area that you're trying to cast to. Get a couple good swings here. Go under, and flip up. And there I am at the end of the fenders. Go a couple swings, go under, flip out. And I'm right exactly where I need to be, right at the end of that fender. The other cast that we're going to be using is side casting down the parallel of the bridge. Whether you're casting 45 degrees out from the parallel of the bridge pilings, or you're casting down the shadow line, whether you're going on the top or the bottom, this is pretty much what you're going to be using. So, go off the side here. I'm leaning over the side. You know, I'm looking at where I want to be casting at. All right. I'm going to push my rod forward, the rod butt forward. I'm going to use all wrist on this. You know, and the same thing as before. I'm going to get a good pendulum swing, and I'm going to push this butt underneath my armpit and through, and follow through the same way, pointing at a 45-degree angle and pushing my rod tip forward to get that extra distance. So here I go. I get a good swing, and I flip it. There you have it, right there on the shadow line. So what we're going to do here is get it swinging back and forth. I got this this butt in front of my bicep here, and I'm gonna bring it straight down through underneath my armpit. So everyone asks, what are the retrieves that you're using for those 1 to 2 ounce first light jigs from off the bridge for those gag grouper? And I'll tell you, my favorite retrieve is gonna be bouncing it right off the bottom. What you're gonna do is cast it out, let your jig hit the bottom, pop it up, reel in a little slack, and then let it fall. You want that to fall extremely natural and light and flowing with the current. Those gag grouper are going to be sitting right behind some structure, waiting for that jig to come around it, and as soon as they see it, they're going to come out, hit it, and you better be ready because they're going straight back into that structure. Let it hit the bottom. As soon as it hits the bottom, I'm going to pop, reel in a little slack, and let it fall. Pop, reel in a little slack, let it fall. Usually going to get hit right about there. So another retrieve we like to use is slow rolling that jig across the bottom. A lot of people call it sweeping the jig. Now what you're doing is you let that jig fall to the bottom, you reel up a couple cranks, and then you let it fall back down. So it's slowly rolling it up into the mid-level of the water column and then letting it drop back down to the bottom. It gives it much more natural presentation. We use this when the tidal flow is moving a lot faster than normal, or when you're fishing a lot deeper water than you normally would. It's a very good technique to kind of use that current to your advantage to put that action onto your jig. Let it hit the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to crank 3 or 4 times just to get that up into that mid-level of the water column, and I'm going to let it fall. It's the same thing as bumping it off the bottom, but instead it's more of a slow roll. It's a little bit more natural of a presentation where that current's kind of taking that jig on its own without you having to put too much action on it.